at times. A little like bullheaded, I guess.
A weakness he has is that he's a bit stubborn. So even if he like loses with some lineup a couple of times, he still wants to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like the exact skill trait that would make you a good captain, which is looking at 4 other unbelievable players and saying, I know exactly what you should do, right? That can possibly get in the way of decision-making at other points. We see the usual bans, Nyx Assassin, Faceless Void, Puck, and Lich for the most popular picks that we've seen.
But a very unusual first pick, having that Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of first pick Witch Doctors in this tournament. Not the biggest fan of the pick, but it reminds me of like an Ogre as well. We see it a little bit from VP. It's a hero they like to first pick a lot. It's very, I don't know, it doesn't show a lot, and now they can use this second pick to really pick something that matches up well against the Sand King and Lycan.
And it's going to be a Bat Rider, who's been an extremely popular pick throughout this entire tournament. Essentially a character based much around his ultimate of Lasso, snatching a single character and drawing him out to the rest of your team so that you're only fighting 5-on-4s for the rest of the game.
He lanes very well versus both Sand King and Lycan, and some BKB lockdown with the Lasso for Lycan when he eventually picks up that item will be very useful.
It seems like Secret really wants to have strong lanes, because Witch Doctor is also one of the strongest laning heroes with his cask, and also the sustain he has with his heal.
We might see some weird heroes in this matchup too. I think Secret, they've been first phasing PL, which only a couple teams have been doing. I also think we could potentially see a Huskar pick coming out from either team in this matchup too.
It is a best of one.
Yep.
We have seen some Huskar cheese in the past.
We have.
So I don't know if this is a incorrect assessment, but as I was slowly learning more and more Dota and just occasionally watching esports matches where Secret was in attendance, it always seemed like they would be one of the teams most comfortable with picking non-meta heroes. I mean, is that correct? I mean, I've just seen some drafts that are nuts. I've heard some commentators talk about it in the games.
Goes back to what he said about Puppy being stubborn. Like, if he thinks a hero is good, he's going to pick it, whether or not everyone else is not going to pick it, or everyone else thinks it's terrible.
And that's what Ake was talking about earlier today, is you don't want to chase anybody. You want to create your own path. You want to win with the heroes that you think are good, and then watch everybody else try and figure you out.
Well, thus far, no team is really betraying.
We've had a lot of heroes
out of
picked.
Control, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what do we have, like 107, 108 total heroes picked?
We are currently at 108 of 112. They don't have Bane, who's my favorite hero. I love Bane.
Bane's actually not bad. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him at some point. He's just, there's other heroes that kind of fill the same roles that he does a little bit better.
10 seconds remaining.
What do we got here? We got some bans, Invoker Sven, and then a Quap, and then wait on this last one here. That's Sven ban against with Lycan. Once again, we saw it from EG in the last series. Queen of Pain banned out. Queen of Pain lanes pretty well against Bat, but I doubt Bat would go mid.
Usually in the offlane, I guess.
Haven't seen Batman in a long time.
Omni ban.
Are they afraid of Huskar, that they will pick it since they ban Omni Knight? Omni Huskar?
Omni Huskar, is that a thing?
Not with Lycan, I think.
Yeah, I think Huskar Lycan would be a little bit too much raw damage and not enough control. Lycan really loves heroes that can set up kills for him.
Secret been picking some Necrophos as well, right? They really like to have these active carry heroes.
Necrophos is great versus Lycan.
Yeah.
Big fan. You can make yourself ethereal and be immune to Fizzler. Nobody can right-click you.
The get-out-of-jail-free card. And of course, in the ethereal form, you get the massive bonus heals.
Yes.
The first time that I saw that happen, I thought someone was legitimately cheating.
No, we haven't.
He just like went into ethereal form and popped a wand. Was at full health. I was like, oh!
It's a little bit out of control, I think, but that's why he's getting picked. He's good right now.
Any potential to see Brood in this best of one?
Up against Bat Rider and Witch Doctor, potentially. We've seen Liquid run it up against Bat Rider, not afraid of it at all.
It could work if Secret show their mid hero, so they actually force them to put Bat mid and being in a bad position in that way.
Execration has the last pick in this.
Yes.
In this best of one, which I think is pretty nice to have.
In terms of the advantages, what are the big advantages you get of not being the last picking team? Because obviously, if you last pick, you see the entire lineup of the enemy team and get to work within that.
You get first pick.
You get first, yeah, exactly. You get first pick, but if you're going to use it on a Witch Doctor, I don't really know how much value that is. You know, we see Shaker still ignored, Wisp ignored, Puck, Lich, Void, Nyx all banned. Those are pretty common. Void being the exception.
Clockwork's been an interesting hero. It's been picked a pretty reasonable amount of the time, but really hasn't had the best win rate. Only 20% win rate with Clockwork in this tournament.
You find that interesting?
Should I?
I don't know. Why is it interesting? He's just a loser.
Losers fascinate me, Peter.
Execration are going for a very safe draft here with Clock and Shadow Fiend to make sure that Shadow Fiend gets his souls early on.
Oh yeah, the Clockwork SF.
Yeah.
That's classic. You can,
That's perfect for a best of one.
set the cogs up in the fountain. You right-click once, or you have a teammate right-click once because Clock will one-shot him, and then Shadow Fiend finishes him off. You build up some souls to start the game, get that mid-lane advantage.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
awesome.
pretty dirty.
That's awesome.
But play to win, especially this best of one for, I don't know, how much money are we dealing with here? A couple 100,000 on the line?
Yeah.
Just a couple 100 G's, no big deal.
I mean, at this point, I'm always interested to see when there's a best of one situation in almost any esport, what the attitude is, because I feel like you can distill down a fundamental attitude of teams, whether it's play it safe, we gotta be stable, we gotta be sturdy, or they won't expect it this time. We can throw them off, we can do something insane. Templar Assassin making the first appearance of the day.
Saving their final support hero, right? Unless that's a Clockwork support, and then they're...
I think they really wanted to get the TA against this SF because TA is one of the heroes that can actually deal with the damage that SF has early on.
Yeah.
And they might have been scared that that Execration would ban it.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow Fiend deals huge bursts of damage, but Templar Assassin, of course, with her refraction, absorbs all those huge chunks, no problem.
TA infamous for doing single target damage, oftentimes struggle up against summons and illusions. Has a difficult time dealing AoE damage. Could be a potential last pick from Execration. I think that it's very possible that they pick another core here and put Clockwork and Sand King on support to kind of have that surprise, almost best of one cheese element to their draft.
And Team Secret really looks like they just need someone with great damage. Do you think that it would be possible to choose a core that needs a little less babysitting to allow Rubik and Witch Doctor to go about the map, or do you think that they really want to leverage how nice Witch Doctor can be to have in lane?
I think having someone that can do well against Clockwork and Sand King in lane is fine, but I would really worry that these are not the core heroes that Execration is going to use. I think that that fifth hero is probably going to be another core.
You can always just go something safe, like Lifestealer I think is pretty safe. You have Bat Rider on your team, seems pretty doable.
Lifestealer could be good.
Not really bad versus any of their heroes.
It's pretty good versus Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
What are some other possible options for Team Secret that would be good and bad?
I think the Necrophos is something that they, as I said before, is something that they picked, but I think they lack a bit of damage to be able to bear some. I mean, they could lasso into the Necrophos ultimate, but that means that the TA has to jump in and
How do you guys
hit there as well.
How do you feel about Anti-Mage?
So I think MP just plays the weird heroes though all the time. It's like
Yeah.
PL, PA, Necrophos, Huskar.
And Anti-Mage is quite bad against Lycan, right?
Phantom Lancer one time? Yes!
Oh, that's your hero.
Yeah, dude, Phantom Lancer and Bane, I absolutely adore, and Phantom Lancer is really nice for being able to participate
Shadow Fiend
earlier in the
Shadow Fiend's pretty alright against PL.
Yeah, he is. The thing is, they've been picking it all the time. I'm very unsurprised to see them pick it up because they did pick it up first phase. Sven's already banned out by Execration themselves.
Lycan struggles a lot versus PL.
Yeah, Timber would be decent, I suppose.
Timbersaw could be. I like Timber. Lots of armor.
I think he's one of the best ones versus Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, and even though PL does get that diffusal eventually, which can present problems for Timbersaw, Timbersaw can just kill all those illusions immediately. I do like. I like that. I like Timbersaw a lot. We'll see if they go for it, but they could also still just pick like some ranged 5-position support.
Yep.
Let's see. I always like Crystal Maiden, but it's so bad.
God,
Crystal Maiden versus
I
PL.
can't stand Crystal Maiden. Now that the jungle camps don't give you enough experience.
And she's so slow. She got nerfed like so many times.
Yeah,
her
she's
movement speed,
pretty
it's
bad.
just insane.
I always liked playing CM against PL though.
Yeah.
You can just ult and PL actually can't do anything to you. It's great.
So what would you describe as the quality of the last pick that Execration really needs?
They need more AoE.
Stun, a little more AoE.
Silencer.
Silencer.
Okay. So that is going to be support silencer, I would imagine.
I think so, right?
Okay.
Well, at this point in time, the lineups have been locked, And as we've said before, it is an elimination match. Whoever loses is eliminated from TI as the very first team to go. Let's take it away with the casters.
The underdog story is always a beautiful thing. It is even better when it's elimination games at TI. Execration versus Team Secret. Team Secret are actually no strangers recently to that underdog position, but now they're coming in as the favorites. Do you think they have what it takes?
I'm not sure who really is the underdog in this matchup. I think it's very hard to say. Like this group stage has shown already that the scores aren't really necessarily representative of who you should consider the favorites, or maybe every underdog is just winning right now.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it's fair enough to say on paper Secret should be the favorites, but Execration showed pretty good form in the groups. Sure, they went to the lower bracket, which, you know, half the teams will,
yeah.
Or actually a little less than half, but a couple got knocked out.
We cut the extra fat off.
But I think Execration have what it takes. I think they have a draft they're very comfortable with. The panel were discussing, like, what does this last pick need to be? They went for something completely different. So it seems like they're very comfortable with the silencer being played by RR in this game. Secret, on the other hand, have comfort picks. I just feel like their team fight and this lineup looks really lackluster. I'm a bit worried for them going into that.
Well, the panel were kind of touching on it, right? They're looking at individual pickups. Like, I was sitting here wondering if we're going to get the Yapsol Rubik. I was then gratified with the Yapsol pickup. But then you got the Templar Assassin in mid, very, very single target focused. And maybe that's the way they're thinking about it. The team fights will just never happen. If they play the fun, fast pace game against Execration, is that the approach that maybe they're looking for in their draft?
It's possible that they try to do that. We're going to have to see. I think Execration's lineup definitely has what it takes to fight back. You look at their lineup, they have many of these pretty fast-paced heroes themselves. A hero like Clockwork, Sand King, Shadow Fiend with Cogs, as mentioned by the panel, also comes online very quickly. And then you have your carry is a hero like Lycan, who is basically not necessarily all about fighting, but he's pretty good at contributing. You have Howl, you have the ultimate to make you really fast and run in and kill the heroes. And something that they also were mentioning, you know, when you're playing against TA, this refraction is something you really need to look out for. Execration had a game in the group stage where they did exactly this. They ran Lycan safe lane with Necrobook, and it destroyed, I think it was the TA of Cloud9 in that game, I believe. Had a really hard time. Fata was constantly just losing his refraction charges to the Necrobook, which in addition also gives True Sight. It's like an amazing hero counter. He has 4 summons and bye-bye refraction, you know? So I personally like Execration's draft here, but I think Team Secret have some players that could step up big time in a game like this.
I agree. There's a lot of talent in the lineup of Team Secret, and maybe that is what they're going to rely on, but it's a good story for everyone who is viewing if Execration can find themselves a solid draft they feel comfortable with that isn't just a straight, oh, Bloodseeker, no one can counter him, Broodmother, no one can counter her kind of approach to the draft. It makes things very fun and interesting, and it looks like Team Secret, they may want to try and open up the account. James, he was coming up for the rune, a pickup by Team Secret, and James wants to get back through the trees. Maybe he's got the distance with a Burrow Strike out from Lemek. They're going to get a little bit more space. Body blocking up Yapsor. He doesn't want to give him the vision. Oh, the first blood. James still alive. The boots are giving him the speed to escape the Team Secret gank.
Oh, I think Secret actually wanted to give that kill to the PL. I think both of their ranged heroes had the ability to get in an additional hit, but a lot of the times you want to give this carry that head start, and this time it comes back to bite them. I believe that was indeed a kill if they just committed for it. But yep, they dodge a bullet there. That's the kind of thing you have in elimination matches like this. They're the most terrifying and the most exciting games at the same time, and under pressure, mistakes like that can definitely happen.
Yeah, but this is the upside sort of for Team Secret. Okay, middle lane, Burrow Strike onto mid one. They know he has no refraction charges, so Yapsor picks him up in range of the tower, and the body block from mid one. Lemek can't get out, he's blocked in by the creep wave. Mid one will spill first blood. And Raging Potato, with even that plus 16 souls, he's still forced away.
It was a great play by Yapsor, identifying that play was possible. He could actually lock him in there. Now that the creep wave in the mid has that extra creep since patch 7.0, I believe, was that earlier was 7.04, I think, added that extra creep in mid. It makes plays like those more likely to succeed just because there's more stuff in the way. And yep, they pull that off. So nice first blood for Team Secret, going the way of mid one. I think that's the player they wanted to go to more than anyone in this kind of matchup. Should secure him. Is that his bottle already coming out? It is indeed.
Yeah.
Very, very necessary in this matchup that does favor Shadow Fiend quite a bit when he has this soul advantage in the beginning usually.
Yeah. Especially when Lemek was also looking for the kill. You could see them prepping with their attacks previously. Raging Potato was beating into mid one. They knew his cooldown timing of refraction, and they tried to capitalize on that. But yeah, as you said, Team Secret, Yapsor, in the right place and right time. We were kind of expecting that from his Rubik. Without it, he doesn't get his levels, and that's something else to look at for the supports. The fact that Rubik has already managed to get 2 and, well, 3rd levels so far, trying to contest the runes. which will end up spawning on bottom, a double damage room for RR.
You know, we got to keep an eye out for stacks in this game as well. Whenever you have Templar Assassin and Batrider in the same team, they want to farm different stacks. Batrider wants to farm the non-ancient camps most of the time, and Templar Assassin wants to farm the ancients. So in that sense, Secret's lineup is nicely well-rounded in that they want different camps in the jungle, access to those. And then you look over at Execration, they also want stacks for the Shadow Fiend if possible, but generally not the ancients. They're not really the way to go.
No. Go for the easier camps. Kezu at least has that observer ward on bottom lane watching the small stack near him. So using it for pulls until he goes for something else. MP, there's no mana on the top lane apart from enough to doppelganger away from James. Puppey is in the neighborhood with the Paralyzing Cask, and this is a battery assaulting Clockwork that has committed in with a creep wave. The Paralyzing Cask won't bounce again. The TP out will be successful, and the regeneration in the base will repair the damage. It will be done by the last tick of Maledict.
He's keeping on their toes here in the top lane, but this should not be a lane that Clockwork can ever get a solo kill in. He's pretty good against the Witch Doctor, but if he goes on the Witch Doctor, the PL can just jump in with Doppelganger and spawn additional targets for the Battery Assault, and you can't really find a kill. Can also throw out a Lance that also spawns an illusion. So this is an okay lane for Clockwork. It's not fantastic, but he's getting some levels. That's what you generally want to do on that off lane as that type of hero. The last hits are secondary to the levels on Clock, and he's already level 3. Batrider, however, is level 4 actually for Secret down bottom. Kezu's having a great time, and that's worrying. We've seen Kezu on Batrider in this tournament having some outstanding games. Probably his best hero of the tournament, actually.
That's that secondary objective of the Observer Ward. The ping's coming out right now from the SK saying, I'm fairly certain he knows that he can see us. And that's problematic because it means the rotations, like Rubik was already getting a little bit of early information, having a little battle with RR as they ran around through the Radiant jungle. Top lane, troublesome, Puppey actually locked in with the Clockwork. The battery assault damage will be enough for James to get the kill. There was not much more MP could do about it. And James will even take both of the bounty runes to boot.
He actually managed. I think the Phantom Lancer looks like he was just out of mana at that point. Then that's when you can try to commit for that kind of play. If Phantom Lancer can't counterplay, this is a really difficult matchup for Witch Doctor. But he kind of relies on his carry to be able to help out, and Puppey was a bit out of position, got caught. Nice little play by James, immediately heading up to top again here.
Yapsor, that's very aggressive, coming into the trees. Lemmiscus going to go for the straight-up Burrow Strike, and then the follow-up damage with Raisin 2 hits from Raging Potato, and that was a gift from Team Secret in the mid lane.
And they got to be careful at nighttime. Howl is really powerful right now. Even though it's only level 2, this additional damage and health on all of their lanes make plays very difficult for Team Secret to carry out. So might need to take it a little bit easy. At the very least for them, they're still getting good stacks off. Yapsor's managed to double stack, or is that a triple? He's definitely double. Yeah, it's a triple stack on the right camp, and now they're tripling the top camp as well with Puppey. So 2 times triple stack Ancients ready for mid 1. Generally want to be like level 7 before you start farming those, I believe, depending on the composition of creeps. And now he's going to head in and do some regular camps, maybe leaving a little bit of mid experience to someone else. Yeah, when that wave pushes back.
You do have 2 supports who are going to be itching for it. Both the Witch Doctor as well as the Rubik benefit from having 1, they're level 6, but 2 just level increase on those supports. Rubik for the burst damage, Puppey for the more control that he's able to offer as a Witch Doctor. Especially when he's sacrificing himself so much. We talk about Puppey being the hard 6 position in a team with well, I'll say with Team with Secret, just with Yapsor. He's the guy that takes everything else.
Yeah, I like that you point this out, because when it comes to this support duo, it's actually a pretty strange pairing. This is kind of a thing of the past, running 2 range supports like this. Most of the time your position 4 is more of a melee hero that is tankier, can go for these aggressive plays, similar to like what the Sand King is of Lumik. We've seen a lot of Nyx Assassin.
MP, really? James under the tower. Puppey has to let the Paralyzing Cask go and cuts apart 3, even body blocks him out, making it impossible for James to go through the trees. Another TP out to safety. Does he have the life? He'll go back to base and barely surviving.
Clutch. That was really close.
Oh boy.
He's kind of pressing his luck here a bit, but forcing MP back to base at the same time he forces himself back is a pretty okay trade-off for the Clockwork. Maybe slightly Secret favorite, because of course the Witch Doctor can go and take some XP in the lane, but that wasn't the worst thing in the world for James.
Team Secret also get a little bit more of an advantage looking towards that mid lane. Raging Potato disappeared into the jungle at the same time as mid 1 did, but mid 1 came back earlier. He came back with the catapult wave, which is still alive, beating into that mid tower, dropping it down to 286. So Raging Potato got a little bit of farm, but as you said, mid 1 wanted is level 7. He now has that and can look towards the Ancients. And Yapsor, this is where he also leeches so hard. You push the Rubik closer towards that level 6, closer towards that the big burst damage where his rotations become more powerful. And, yeah,
this time you're not getting out. That is not happening.
his TP's on cooldown. He's got 4-1 shot. Just create the space for the clocks.
Nice.
Never. Okay, no, there's your Lancers. James, maybe, Lemic, get rid of the illusions of Fate Bolt from Yapsaw.
That comes
Securing the kill.
The signature Fate Bolt, that's unnecessary, but just needs that gold on the Rubik, you know.
That was necessary.
That was
I sense a level of salt.
100% dead from that last tick of Maledict.
Okay, I should
you're
just point
fooling
out
no one here.
for the former Yapsaw teammate Cinder and sitting next to me, he's going to possess more salt than PPD during this game.
That's hard to do. I can actually give you a little bit more of a background to this game. Speaking of past history with players, Mid-1 TA knocked me out last year in a best-of-1 elimination game. That's what Fnatic actually turned to in that game as well. So it's a very, I think if you look at Mid-1 and you're like, okay, we're playing a best-of-1 elimination game, we want to give him his best, most comfortable hero in high-pressure situations, this is the one. This is basically a repeat of last year with Fnatic. Yeah, when Mid-1 was playing that. So.
And we really have seen like games with Templar Assassin. She can sit like a couple of thousand net worth in front and is able to carry a team. Like, all you need to do is have just that little bit of momentum, and they've got it so far.
It's also just the pacing of the best-of-1 elimination games. Like, teams are generally likely to play a little more cautiously and slower. And then a hero like TA that can abuse stacks can be a very powerful tool to have in your arsenal. You see, the Execration side has barely even contested these stacks right now. They've mainly been playing their own side of the map. The Clockwork has been putting some pressure top, but apart from that, we've barely even seen their heroes cross the river. So if that's how you're going to play, TA is a pretty damn amazing pick for this kind of stuff. And just need to wait to see when Mid-1 wants to farm these stacks. They would take him up to level 10.5, I think, and about 80-90 CS.
Oh, if he had Firefly, he really would have gone for that. Had Lasso off cooldown and 3 sticky Napalm stacks on the Lycan. That was probably the best opportunity, even though he kept walking under the tower. So maybe not the greatest positioning. So Yapsaw's taking up the middle. Looks like they're also going to give Lemic that kind of space to farm up there while TA's gone jungle. Kezu on the run, but he'll be okay. So this is that flash farm period we're talking about. We can look towards the SF for his timing. Shadowblade build is his item of choice. Okay, level 6, hook shot, up she flies, finding Kezu. Battle Rider, fantastic for getting out of the cogs. If he had the Firefly, but it just times out. Is there restoration? No, there isn't. Kezu, this needs the live stick charges, won't be enough. And RR can add his first +2 for the game for the Intelligence Stolen.
That was perfect timing on that hook shot. Very nicely done by James. Just before the Firefly expires, sees that very little moment of opportunity. We're talking half a second here. Gets that jump, they get that nice kill. The gold goes to RR, who's generally, I think he's played Silencer for Execration in a couple of games, and he has a tendency of being very starved. He plays very hard support. This hero actually benefits a lot from getting just one item as in the support role. Generally a mobility item like Force Staff or Glimmer Cape for saving or something like that contributes quite a lot for this hero in particular, I would say.
It's kind of the sad thing for him. He's played Silencer in one game and was up against the team who just crushed here on the stage, Newbie. So
he had a hard time.
Yeah, he had a very hard time. Yapsol has a big smoke maneuver commitment here from Team Secret. You have the drums over on Kezu, so you have the movement speed that can come from the Bat Rider. So as the advantage if you can be successful at this fight, potentially picking off Raging Potato. He's just trying to finish up the Ancient Black Dragon, which may just be stolen by Kezu, while Mid-1 will finish the Tier 1 tower in mid. Some decent money now being injected into the Team Secret bank account.
Yeah. Is that a Lycan ulti?
It is a Lycan ulti.
Farming? Okay. So Secret, the biggest discrepancy right now is when you look at the CS across the board, it looks pretty even, right? Like Tia has 92, Shadowfiend has about 90, PL and Lycan are even as well, but the big discrepancy is Bat Rider to Clockwork, and that's just how these heroes work, in essence. Like, Bat Rider will outfarm Clockwork quite a lot if they're both given a good game, and that's the net worth advantage. Now the question is, how much can this Clockwork set up for his team with this low net worth compared to that Bat Rider, as you said, already has Drum, closing in on a Blink Dagger. We're probably going to see that for Kezu around the 15-minute mark at this rate.
Well, that's the advantage of the Clockwork, the fact he already has initiation, but Kezu still has the Firefly up and running, so getting out of the cogs is easy enough. Giving it to Yapsor, easy when you trigger Battery Assault after, so not the ability Yapsor was searching for.
It gives them some decent kill potential with Lasso, actually. If they lasso someone into Battery Assault, that deals a lot of damage, if they want to look for that.
You still need the Blink, though. He's at 600 and requires a lot more, that 2250. But they may try and go for it anyway. Keep the Bat Rider down, keep him away from that Blink Dagger. A 3-man smoke up as they wrap around the Roche Pit. Where do they want to go? The line is drawn to actually go back up and into the dire jungle towards the Ancients. And who are they going to find? It's going to be Kezu, but Kezu, well, it's the other way around. He actually finds them.
They're having a hard time dealing with this Bat Rider, I would say. He's only got 1 death in this 70 CS and just... They didn't manage to kill him top, now he's going to break their smoke and keep farming. And TA is completely uncontested. I think that's the biggest concern for Execration, is that mid one is just farming.
TA is going to kill bottom lane, they're initiating it. MP made a way through the trees on the east. Nando doesn't have the life with the stick charges and so many PLs fighting against him. Mid one just has the damage. And a very hard way to fight that. Like, Puppey revealed himself in mid only a second before that. They didn't know where...
Oh, those side blades.
Oh, Levick! Back to the trees, out of range, survive. Let the tranquil boots kick in.
And I was getting some...
the rocket.
Some Ferrari flashbacks right there. Remember that Rude kill?
Oh, wow, that's a long time ago.
It's a pretty long time ago. That's a very memorable moment, though. Yeah, he hit 3 side blades in a row and an invisible target there. Very nice for mid one, but not enough. Even though he had the Desto already, I think he picked this up at sub 12 minutes, which is very quick. They just keep stacking. All right, now he's just going to walk into the camp himself, block that off.
Yeah, but Nando's trying to make the best of the opportunity. We talked about the fact like TA is getting a lot of fun, but we also talked about the fact that Lycan is the counter. You can check the item build of Nando. He's finished his treads and he just picked up his level 1 Necrobook.
And even level 1 Necrobook is very good.
Yep, they're going to need it.
And right Shadow Fiend has Shadow Blade as well.
The fight's preparing on bottom lane. You've got Kezu ready to come around the back. You've got mid one ready to push in as well, straight through the middle. Observer and Sentry is down for Team Secret, so they will be aware in this fight. The hook shot gonna miss the target, and without that now, Kezu feels so confident. Jumps in, gets the silencer out, so no global silence available for the fight. Paralyzing cast, making it difficult for Raging Potato to move back out. The Burrow Strike again, holding him in position. Let Puppey Sand Lord go. James will fall. Execration lose 4. The Lycan, the man who wasn't there, the sole survivor, claiming the tier 1 tower on top as the only consolation prize for Execration.
We might be seeing some of those main stage jitters from some of the less experienced players. They seem very hesitant, and that attempt from Clockwork to jump, I think he was trying to hookshot the PL under his tower, maybe into a global play. It's a very difficult play, very high risk, low reward kind of play in that tower to try to get. And Secret were just in position and counterplayed them very nicely here. We're going to see it now. I actually think that the hook is already on cooldown now. Raging Potato goes in, doesn't manage to kill the PL at all. And this fight is... The moment Silencer gets grabbed, it's very difficult for Execration to counterplay this move of Secret. Their burst damage is just way too high, and they can't prevent those players from getting in and getting it done.
Yep, and it seems so hard for them to move around in the fight. Like the Paralyzing Cask is doing so much work too. Then you've got the other AoE stun, which can come in from the Rubik. The Bat Rider controls, you can see they know they got this fight in the bag. The second you get that early pick off, Team Secret will not be hindered at all. So instead, Execration try and make something out of something else, and that is James moving in towards the mid, looking for that angle with the haste room, but he ran over the top of Templar Assassin's trap. So Secret were ready for it. They already had the counter hero. Rubik versus Clockwork is one of the easiest ways to save you from cogs by throwing the Rubik outside of his own cogs.
Now the question is what Execration's lineup can do to really set up a fight that can bring them into a good position again. Secret are getting a lot more out of the map right now after taking that fight. They've taken 2 towers to the 1 of Execration. Doesn't sound like too much, but getting the mid tower down is pretty significant.
They're going to try and fight again?
Yep. They should be looking for something like this. They have the tools, right?
Well, are they actually going to Roshan? It's difficult with Templar Assassin on the field.
Well, they're looking to try something mid. There's the shapeshift.
Yeah, gonna run in. There's Sentry Wars down.
Oh,
the hook shot. Mid one just walked ahead. Can blink himself away to safety. The global silence is out. They need this fight to work. The Burrow Strike holding mid one in position. Templar Assassin will fall. And Nando going full dog way forward. But now Paralyzing Cast from Puppey. Holding James as well as Nando together. They have to get outside the cogs. Yapsor can't get the stolen epicenter in range of Execration. But James, he'll walk himself in range of Team Secret. So they can just send the PL illusions in and James will fall. It was a big kill, however. They did bring down Templar Assassin with the move.
Yeah, considering that they missed the hookshot there, that's a pretty okay outcome, I think, for Execration. Even the hookshot itself is pretty difficult to do on the TA, who does have refraction up and the blink dagger, so you need to do enough instances of damage to prevent her from blinking out. I think the thing that Execration are missing right now, apart from slightly better spell usage, is the Blink Dagger on Sand King. That's going to make things a lot easier. And we have Lumic farming at bottom. He's 600 away. Should be able to set up for a nice epicenter, since it's really nice to play Sand King when you're not the only initiation in the team. When someone else can set you up so you can get epi instead of being forced to a lot of the times choose between that fast burrow strike or the epi, he can now count on his ally to set it up, knowing he has global in the back as well. It's a very nice lineup to play Sand King in. So I think they should definitely be looking to enable him here with a blink.
Execration have a choice now. They've scouted up mid one doing Templar Assassin. Team Secret, 4-man smoke over. They've got an Observe Ward on the hill. So is the Sentry Ward. They dust down. They'll see Raging Potato lassoed up. Someone needs to create a little bit of space before they lose the SF. James has gone in, but now he's isolated in the middle of 5 heroes of Team Secret. Trying to run out. The Cogs at least split the fight up a little bit more. No buyback from the SF. Nando just wants to TP himself out. Keep this Lycan alive. They'll be successful with that. RR will not be so lucky as attention moves towards the SK. Diffuser Blade, it was freshly purchased just before this fight, and it is nipping the heels of Execration out. So no more running away, and no more ways to contest Roshan from Team Secret.
They should be putting this Aegis on the TA. It's a good item on the Phantom Lancer as well. Gets a lot out of the second life, but mid one is just extremely far ahead right now. He can play very aggressively with this. He's also their primary structure pusher here. He can take down a couple of towers maybe with this Aegis. 18 minutes in, maybe they can get the remaining tier 1, maybe the tier 2 bottom. It's fairly easy to siege. The other tier 2s are a bit more tricky, but they should be feeling like they're in a good position with a good advantage here. We see the replay again. Yeah, Lasso on the Shadow Fiend puts them in a really bad spot.
And you can see exactly what they wanted to do. Like, there was the Observe Ward also on top of the hill. That's what set up a lot of that fight. They saw the SF coming from a mile away, and the fresh Blink Dagger, another item which was purchased just before that fight, caught Execration off guard.
Yeah. Could have maybe been a different story if they had Global Silence ready, but the Bat Rider in this game is doing a lot of work. Kezu is finding the right picks. He's been involved in 9 out of 12 kills on his Bat.
Probably the reason why at the end of every single Team Secret fight we're having a camera close-up on Kezu just going, yeah.
Pretty much.
Good fight, boys. Good fight. So, Execration, they still have some things working their way. Even though the gold is moving 6,000 in the way of Team Secret, the experience about 8,500, you still have that power that comes from the SF as well as the Lycan. Lycan, we've seen a little bit of his power throughout the fight, but not a hell of a lot. Most of it was just Necrobook focusing on the Templar Assassin. But so far, SF really hasn't had a huge influence. Apart from the initial pickoff when they were able to get the Clockwork grab, like, that was good. But the Shadow Blade hasn't really paid off. He's still working his way towards his BKB, and maybe then he'll have a chance if he doesn't get caught by the Bat Rider.
It definitely still feels like the type of game Execration can come back in. It's a fairly big lead, but it's not insurmountable at all. And their lineup, I think fares pretty well in the core-on-core matchups later on. The Shadow Fiend is okay against PL, as PVD pointed out. I think we've talked about the Lycan against the TA.
They're forcing a fight.
They just need to get their key items without losing out too much and organizing the fights a bit better. Now that the Blink Dagger is up on Sand King and Secret don't know it, this could give them that one big fight. If Execration just get one good team fight where they trade maybe 5 for 2, 5 for 3, the game is going to almost even out because they should be able to take another tower or 2 after that fight. See the mid tower being low already here for Team Secret.
You talk about the Blink Dagger over on the Sand King. We have a just shy of 20-minute Rubik Blink Dagger coming out on the courier to Yapsaw. So your blink ability across the field now, both Kezu, Mid 1, and Yapsaw all have Blink Daggers. Team Secret's positioning to be very difficult for Execration to counter.
Illusion.
Not to mention Clockwork isolating a target.
That's not the easiest ask right now. And the thing about this Rubik Blink Dagger that's so crucial is that if Yapsar is fast, which he has a tendency to be on this hero, he can Blink Steal Barrow Strike, which is an incredible steal for Rubik in general. Has to play around Global Silence, one of the better counters to Rubik, but it is definitely possible.
Team Secret are coming down the mid lane. They've still got the Aegis the Immortal for a little bit more time. Another 2 minutes before it will get reclaimed.
Puppy's signature buckler. He's the only player who does this, I think. Always gets a buckler.
It's funny to know what hero they're on too, they do it.
The funny thing to me about this is that that's one of the things they talked about in the panel, right? Like, you have this type of player who's very stubborn and likes the stuff that he likes and just wants to do it, and Puppy has been buying bucklers for years. And nobody else really likes buckler, but Puppy's like, this is the item. Then I asked him how long it lasts on creeps and heroes, and he didn't know, so that was interesting.
Critical details to justify your
He thought it lasted the same duration on creeps as heroes. I mean, why wouldn't it, right? Why wouldn't it, actually? But, yeah.
Do you know Cinderin?
I know. Slacks and I sat down and made us some really difficult questions, so that one's pretty hard.
Alright. Well, Team Secret, you've still got the Aegis the Immortal for another minute and then 10-ish seconds. Going high ground is probably not the easiest thing they want to do. We are only 22 minutes into the game, and you do not want to give Execration the ability to fight from a point of power. Especially now that Rage Potato has that BKB, he would like the fight. But Team Secret also understand they're very powerful, so the only other objectives outside the base at the moment are the Tier 1 and Tier 2 tower up at the top lane. Is that just a simple thing that Team Secret can just move towards and take, or should they be forcing something else?
It's the easiest objective on the map now, for sure. But it might still be too high risk to do at this point. How long is left on that Aegis? Half a minute. They're not going to get up there in time. They do have the BKB to play around with on mid 1, which is definitely a very good item in this game. They're probably also pretty content to farm. As long as they are sitting in the position they are right now, they're owning definitely the majority of the farm on the map right now. You see them posing very aggressively in the Radiant jungle. The Radiant has swapped up to top, but it still feels like Secret have a bit more map control by the tower advantage that they have.
This could work very well for the mid 1. He doesn't know what he's running into, or then again, they don't know what they're running into. Mid 1's got the Invis rune. He goes straight on top of the Clockwork, but nobody knows. The Shadow Blade's going to break in just a second, and then mid 1 will know exactly what he's up against. Regeneration from the Aegis, and remains an Invis. Breaks the party up of Execration and goes back to farming. Meanwhile, mid lane, they do find a target. It's going to be RR. Yapsaw able to actually not take the kill for once. It's Kezu.
Proud of you, Yapsaw. Good job. Didn't take the kill.
Team player.
Yeah.
Got to get that that new item on the Barrow Rider, who's already got Drums, Blink, Force, and full Magic Wand.
Secret are holding nice grip on the map, though. This is a 10k lead now. Execration still haven't really been able to find that team fight that they're looking for. The couple of smokes they had toward mid were very easily read by Secret. It feels like forever since they got their last kill. They will be trying to push a bit up top, it looks like, having some information about where Secret's heroes are, but they don't feel confident to just go and attack this with their SF.
It's like they're trying to bait it in, so you show the SF up here, but it's the two heroes who have distance closing. It's the Blink Dagger on the SK, and it's the hook shot from the Clockwork. They want to have a fight, whereas just one hero coming back from Team Secret to defend the top lane push, but Team Secret is refusing to oblige.
Secret are just staying down here. They found a new home. Basically, the Dire has migrated onto the Radiant side of the map, and now nobody likes Dire anymore. There's nobody in that jungle. But this is what Secret want. This is the ideal situation. This is, again, this is even better for them than if Execration's heroes were top. Now they're just controlling it even harder. Execration's heroes are hiding in base. They do have a smoke on the Sand King that they could try to commit here and look for some sort of play. The last 10 minutes have been all Secret, I feel. There hasn't been too much initiative from Execration that...
Well, they're trying to find a hole in Team Secret's defense, but so far, none has really presented itself too strongly. Rockets continue to fly out from the Clockwork, trying to get vision.
Got some info there. Just gonna see PL farming the camp. That could be useful.
Question is, though, where can they still initiate? Which hero do you initiate into? There's so much counter because Team Secret are so close to each other, holding each other's hands. Your vision where Team Secret are farming at the moment is non-existent for Execration. The Radiant scan 4, they don't find anything. Waiting for that Dire scan. It is actually off cooldown for the moment. And now Lemic, well, Burrow Strike going to catch out too. Global Suns as well, trying to counter the attack. TA, however, got a BKB off. She might be fine for the moment. The epicenter damage is nice, but then the Clockwork cogs! It traps all of Execration on the same position. They cannot get away. Too much damage, and the stolen epicenter from Yapsaw. Lacquer it on top, and Execration will lose 3, potentially 4. Lemic is doing his TP at the moment, and he will get out in time.
Oh, those were not the cogs, man. That feels bad when that happens. He had the right intentions, but the Force Staff from Kezu, I believe it was, just got him out of into a better position, and the TA didn't get trapped inside either. Secret just get another convincing win. That was a 3-0. Another 4K advantage built from that fight.
This is more than problematic. This is Team Secret looking to push. And the ping is coming. Like, is it going to be for Tier 1 tower or Tier 3? Mid 1 is the one looking towards the mid. The rest of Secret are farming for the moment. And mid 1 just by himself can pressure the mid to look for a reaction from Execration. And that's exactly what he does, and then just bounces away. So let's have a look at that fight again. So the Burrow Strike comes in. He gets a nice double stun at the beginning, even the epicenter. But the second the silence wears off, Epi gets stolen. And that Clockwork cogs was basically the funeral parade of cogs for Execration.
Basically set up 3 Sideblade attacks in a row, I think. The Quake Force Staff from Kesu there is very important as well. And This is a problem. When Sand King jumps like that and Clockwork follows through, the other heroes need time to connect. The Lycan needs to use his shapeshift and start running toward it. Shadowfiend has to run all the way in. So the way Execration's heroes were positioned, they actually couldn't use their Sand King stun. Oh, Silencer, speaking of position.
Nice lasso, able to grab that Silencer, the stolen Burrow Strike. In there for Yamso, you talked about how quick he has to be to grab it. Lemic, he attempted to Sandstorm as well, but Silencer down, all the towers on the top lane being removed. We're 27 minutes into the game, and now Team Secret, they want to go up. And they're able to do so. The Burrow Strike is more posturing than anything else. It does no damage whatsoever, and they know there's no follow-up. With no Silencer, with no Global Silence, they cannot win the fight. Maybe if Raging Potato can get that blind, like, Requiem of Souls, you can see him wanting to attempt it on MP. And Puppey maybe feels the pressure. Sentry wards are going down everywhere.
Missed hookshot again. They need to connect their spells with their heroes in the right position, else it's all for naught. It doesn't matter. Here we go. There's better position this time.
Yeah, maybe they can get it, but you couldn't get the follow-up from Lemic. Mid1 able to get himself far enough away. They're trying to get the distance. The BKB out from Raging Potato. At least he won't be affected by the paralyzing cast, but Lycan continuously stunned up. Now the Global Silence is out. Nando, he has to do work here. He has to find the kill. Mid1's the primary target. The secondary Burrow is there from Lemic, but Mid1, he will finally die. Puppey will join him with a glorious death ward to, well, signify his own demise. They want more. Nando, MP, now the Lycan form is worn off. MP can come into this fight. The Burrow Strike forward. Yapsaw still not dead yet. He's able to actually stay alive through so much of this. Almost killing off Lemic on the hill. Lemic will get the kill, but maybe, oh, still not enough. Raging Potato, Requiem of Souls up against MP. He can just dodge too easy, and Kezu and MP will stand over the corpses of Execration. It cost him 3 teammates, but the fight goes the way of Team Secret.
That was a much better organized team fight from Execration, but they're really far
Courier,
behind.
no!
Wait, did Kezu just kill the Courier?
Yeah, the Courier was making a break for the secret shot.
Oh. What was on it?
Nothing. It was going up there at the time.
But this is the way Execration can take these fights. It was close to being good enough, but Secret's big advantage there still allows them to come out on top. Even losing the TA like that is still playable just because of how much net worth they have across the board on all of their heroes. Everyone in their lineup is actually pretty farmed. Even the Witch Doctor.
Hookshot. James gonna hit this one. MP, well, he turns on the Blade Mail. MP's not gonna fight him with the Battery Assault. Now he gets free. It's the Doppelganger. James can't stay close. The Diffuser Blade stopped him. The rocket will fly forward. It does the damage, but MP on 33 HP will survive. Has Manta available as well. Lemic's trying to close the distance. The Wolves are scouting, and now finally they find MP. Tries to break out with the Manta, but it will not work. And RR, the man who sent that Courier up to start with, he finally has his Solar Crest he went up to buy.
That's a pretty big chunk of gold.
It is.
Oh, MP doesn't have buyback. They could actually just get the Roche off this.
If I only knew. There's still Templar Assassin traps around, and that TA is also still a beast. That's a full butterfly. Blink, BKB Desolator on mid one. And a Haste Rune, which will get him in range of Lemic. So Yamsaw gets to sit on a hill for 1 second until he 4-staffs down. But that is now no SK for 43 seconds.
And that should mean that this Aegis will eventually go to Secret. I think they're going to push in all the waves, make sure that Execration are cornered in their base, and then they can kill this Roshan very, very quickly with the combination of heroes. They have the TA, can pretty much solo this Rosh very quickly. Oh, he's going to see James.
Oh, at least maybe with the Blade Mail. No, they're not even going to, they just wait until it wears off, then mid one does the rest of the damage. Refraction protected him to start with. And the Clockwork, quick and easy pickoff. Team Secret, very methodical in this game.
They're going to just, pushing in the mid. Roche is, it looks like TA is moving toward the Roche. The movement trajectory goes there. Oh, a nice region. Fair enough. Oh, he doesn't want it.
Just, he'll get it later. Oh,
Yapsaw gets the region.
Well done, Yapsaw. Well done.
Oh, Yapsaw gets it. Okay.
Yeah, now we see who the real carry is.
Yeah, now you just need to sell his bottle, then we're back to normal. You can't do that.
He can give his bottle to a carry. Come on, it's donations for the poor. Yapsaw, blink in, able to find the Sand King. He's took a Burrow Strike and 15-1 charges, make that 16-17. But that's only because Team Secret are expending abilities to kill him off. So no SK, once again, picked off outside the base. Execration, it always feels like they're one man down or one primary ability down. And this will give Team Secret the opening they want.
They seem less coordinated and more chaotic in the
All right, Raging Potato, you've got to burn the refraction. Charges the blink away! Mid one saw it coming from a mile off. Takes the range racks. Nando was tricking his dog form as well. And now they're going to go in once more. Looking for the opening. Mid one takes the top tier 3 tower. Nando is just enjoying being on speed with his wolf form, but 70 seconds before it's back off cooldown. You will have the SK up in 6 seconds, but Team Secret, they've already made a hole in your home. And Rage-Dota, I don't think he understands like which hero he's got to go on.
That's 1.5 lanes of Rex. They still have the melee in mid, and I think Secret are going to just wait a little bit. Again, push out this wave in the mid, get that in a good position. The bottom lane is pushing in a little bit, probably courtesy of Clockwork. At least he could do that. But it's not looking good for Execration now. We're at that stage now where, judging from what lineups are facing each other, you need some sort of a miracle here to come back. If they find that perfect combination with everything, all their cooldowns ready, where they get a good epicenter Sand stun and global sounds on top, and they land their key spells in addition to that, they can definitely still take the fight, but there are such a big margin for error for Team Secret. They're just going to send in mid one with their medallion on.
Team Secret basically need to have 5 heroes standing all on the one spot for Execration to have enough control in the team fight where they can win it. But they can at least attempt to evenly trade or keep someone alive. The SK, at least the global silence is out, but the SF will be able to survive. Maybe mid one going down. Aegis Immortal's the only thing he'll lose, where SF will lose its life. A quick buyback. They have to fight now or never. Even with the low souls, you have to hold the line. Nando's put his BKB in the fight, but mid one, the damage output is roughly 400. They'll take the mid racks. They're forcing Execration back into their fountain. And Team Secret, they want to get Negas. They'll do this the long way. No tier 4 tower push. It's safe, secure. The tier 3 tower will fall. Clockwork trying to actually jump into the front lines. There is the pickup. Mid one, just focusing on the Rage-Dota. They need to die back on the SF. They'll remove his damage. They'll remove his aura. And they'll remove Execration almost from the International. Mid one just needs to finish the job. The racks are still to be done. There's Lemic with his Burrow Strike, at least able to catch the Templar Assassin, but oh my lord, RR is gone. They've lost 4, they've lost 5, and they can be brutally, savagely wrecked out of the International. Team Secret have done it. It took 34 minutes, it was convincing, it was clean, and it felt like Execration just never got in the game.
Yeah, I was hoping for a bit more out of Execration in this game. I don't feel like this game really does justice some of the really nice plays we saw from them in the groups, but you know, this is a high-pressure environment. It's that one game for elimination. As we said, definitely less experienced players, and especially one of their players, as they said, first event ever. There's got to be a really high amount of pressure to play under. And at the end of the day, Secret with more experience, more composure, just all out better across all stages of the game. They had better laning, better teamwork, better fighting. Got the objectives, and they move on into the next round. So they get to play best of 3s.
Yes, they do, but of course they get to play Team Liquid in the next round. That's also a rough game after Invictus Gaming were able to knock them down earlier today, but Team Secret is definitely going to be a good confidence boost for them moving through the bottom bracket. Of course, Execration, they understood they were coming in. They were a little bit more of the underdog. A loss is a loss, but it's still fantastic experience for them. They still managed to make it out of the group stage and have won themselves a pretty penny to take home to the Philippines.
Yep. Very good experience for them for sure to move on, especially for the new guy, whoever it was. He didn't want to put a name on him.
The mystery man. We'll refer to him as the guy. Or just guy. But yeah, you definitely saw the nerves approaching a little bit.
I think you did.
I think the Clockwork, like that was kind of like the sealing the deal kind of moment when he let the cogs off. That was the moment everything started to fall apart. But if they got their initiations right, if you got the momentum, you could definitely see the draft working.
100%.
That piece of the puzzle looked very, very good.
You could see the logic of what they were trying to do, the execution just wasn't there. That's kind of the short version of the story. They got outplayed and they did not play their own best, which, you know, is a regret you can have afterwards, but either you show up or you don't on the day. Sometimes you have a bad day. That's it.
Yeah, so it's a terrific performance from Team Secret. They are the winner and will advance themselves into the lower bracket round 2.
That entire game can almost be summed up by one of the very early fights down in the bottom right, where there were 4 Execration members looking to make a big push on bottom tower. There was vision on absolutely everything from Team Secret, and Team Secret shut them down with a clean 4-0 in that fight. And so much was the tale of the entire game. Every move that Execration made, immediately Secret met it with great preparedness, with great execution, and punished every move.
just feels like Execration wasn't really on the same page. I saw one of the smokes that they did. They actually drew a line, and then 2 of them is running in that line, and 1 is running the other way. So it just feels like they weren't communicating that well. Maybe they were like nervous or something.
We touched upon it earlier today. Not having counter Bat Rider really, really hurts. Like so, like Silencer was like okay, and they had opportunities to maybe counterpick the Bat Rider a little bit better. Even cores that build Lincoln Spheres. I think Peter mentioned that earlier. Like they just had no way to deal with them.
I mean, it was just insane how good the coordination for Team Secret was. I especially loved it right during that siege of the main base. You just saw sentries plop down everywhere. There was like 5 sentries right outside the front, and this does mean that, of course, Team Secret will be advancing on and talking to a member of Team Secret, Yapzor. We got Casey.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Very exciting. Got to see you play your signature hero in Rubik on the main stage. You were just telling me that wasn't necessarily the plan. How did it feel to get to do that?
I mean, a part of it was the plan, but then we kind of shifted the plan towards another direction, and then they picked Clockwork, and I personally feel like Rubik is really good against that hero. So, yeah, we ended up picking it anyway.
How does it feel to get the one and dones out? The lower bracket is so tough when it's just the one game. You know how that feels. You were here just last year with Escape. You guys lost to Fnatic in the first game. So mentally, how did you overcome that? What is that like?
I mean, first of all, I do believe I'm here with a stronger team this time. Second of all, I'm a stronger player. But I think like mentality-wise, you kind of you have to just take it. Like the lower bracket, especially the best of one part, is only scary if you believe it's scary. And if you just feel like it's it's like another game, another normal game, and you just draft accordingly and get like your favorite heroes, like comfort heroes, I think you'll always do fine.
It's kind of unusual when you have a team with so many people from so many different corners of the world to actually get to live together and play so much together. How much of that do you think has helped the team dynamic as you head into TI, and how much of that do you think helped you today?
I'm not sure how much it helps exactly, but there are many different perspectives, especially because we have two players from Southeast Asia, and it meshes really well because different perspectives with a very experienced captain. Like he will know what to do with all these different ideas and how to put them all into one team and be able to make them really, really strong. And I believe we're getting there. It
sounds like everybody really appreciates and admires Puppey. You're not the first player who has sat in this chair and said, we owe it all to Puppey. Why do you think that? I was going to say, what's so great about Puppey? But what I mean is, like, what makes him, there are so many wonderful captains here. So what in particular about Puppey do you think helps with your team here at TI?
I mean, the only like good captain I've played with is probably Synderen before Puppey.
Oh, he'll like that.
Yeah, I mean, but like, I guess from my recent experience, Puppey compared to everyone else that I know is very strong-minded, but at the same time takes ideas. He doesn't only give. He like takes and gives, and he likes to share ideas with his teammates a lot. And I think it really helps me, especially it helped me personally because I was the newest member of the team. And if it wasn't for that kind of approach, I don't think I would have actually played well with him at all. So yeah.
Well, we're almost out of time, but really quickly I have to ask you about facing Liquid. You guys were pretty even throughout group stage. You won to a lot of teams, but Liquid you 0-2'd. So what are your thoughts as you prepare to face them tomorrow?
I mean, we were really shaky at the start of the group stage, so I'm not sure how much it will reflect on our play right now, because we definitely talked about the correct things and we improved a lot. So I'm like very excited and of course sad because I'm also going to be playing against Miracle, which is also from Jordan, and I do believe everybody at home is going to be watching this game because of that. So it's in some ways some sort of a grudge match, but we're definitely prepared for it.
It'll be epic.
Yeah, I hope so.
Best of luck to you and congratulations on today.
Thank you.
All right, let's head over to Machine.
Thank you, Casey. Yes, indeed. That's one side of the coin. Now my chance to provide the other. It's the less fun of the duties, but this is an opportunity for you to provide a platform for you to kind of voice what on earth is going through your head. You are still top 16 world's best Dota players and team.
Yeah, actually, I'm already proud on what we get here because actually we didn't expect that we will go this far. we're a team that played open qualifiers, and my teammates is like I've been playing with them for like 2 months or 2 months only, and I think we're just not too prepared for this tournament. I think.
Not prepared in your mind, but still on the main stage. Last year, you came in through the wild card. You made it to Seattle, but not to TI. Now you're on the main stage. Now you've seen that crowd. Does that just increase the hunger? Does that make you want to come back even stronger next year, maybe?
Yeah, I think I really want to go back here. We play in this main stage, and I think we never play our best. I think because I really want to win this competition actually, but things just I think our plan never works. That's it. So that's
the use of the word "never." You don't need to use that. Yeah, it didn't work out this time. No, so much love. Thank you so much for taking the time for the interview. And one final question, which is, of course, you're so invested in this project. You've previously found yourself, managing and playing. You're doing so much for the Execration name. Next year, is this just going to come back big? Are we going to see more of Execration? Going to see more of yourself?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go. I want to go back in here.
Any messages for your fans?
Thank you all for supporting us, Execration, even though we never did our best, or I think we did our best maybe, right? And I thank you very much for supporting us, especially to my manager, Arvin. I'm really grateful to him.
That's all for you, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to love you and leave you. We'll head over back to the desk to break everything down.
Thank you, Machine. And I'll echo something that PPD said at the start of today, that really TI for many of these teams is Christmas. It's a celebration of everyone who's here. And Execration, though they're eliminated, they go out with their heads held high. And Team Secret will be advancing on towards Team Liquid in the lower bracket round tomorrow.
Liquid was actually quite charming there in the end. I expected him to be a lot more sad and distressed.
It's really impressive whenever I see anyone who's able to remain that level of composure. I think I have cried after 100% of tournaments where I've been eliminated.
It's just very nice to see that he's actually happy that they made it this far. They made it to Seattle, they made it into the top 16, they got to play on the stage, and that is actually like he wants to come back the next year and maybe win TI.
That was the best I've ever seen a losers interview go. Usually they're just like despondent and they're just devastated that they're not playing anymore, but they seem like they had expectations for themselves, and they exceeded those, and they're looking forward to doing the grind again next year.
And after this match, we see the standings as they currently remain. Of course, Invictus Gaming and Newbie remain in the upper bracket, ready to fight each other in the winners' semis. And in the lower bracket, round 2, Team Liquid now knows that they will be up against Team Secret. A very interesting match, and honestly, given the caliber of teams that we see at this event, pretty much every match is sick, including our next match is going to be Cloud9 versus Team Empire. And before we go into that, I do want to spend a little more time talking about the match that just got done between Secret and Execration. We have seen a lot out of Team Secret in terms of this game. What do you think are the real hallmarks that they'll be carrying forward into their next round matches?
I think the next match will be quite different from the one that they just played. I think they tried to play it a bit safe. They went for comfort picks and they went for strong and laning heroes. And that isn't really something that maybe works every game. I think now when they play Liquid, who they actually lost here to, if I'm correct.
O2, yeah.
O2. That they're going to try to use that and look at the games there and try to understand how they're going to win these games.
One thing that I thought was great about what Secret did here is Puppy came in with a very, strong, stable strategy, and that's what matters in the lower bracket. You don't have many games to mess up, and tomorrow they'll have a little bit more leeway with the best of 3, but Liquid's no joke, so they got to really bring it.
And I want to give Kevin the chance to talk a little bit about that execution that we saw from Team Secret, the sort of plays that they were able to make, because pretty much every single significant engagement in this game went the way of Secret.
That was really what I saw as well on my side. One of the things that I caught that I thought was really important is you don't want to lose your towers before your opponents kill yours, if possible. And there was a moment here where Shadow Fiend left the mid lane to head to the jungle to do some jungling. He's normally very good at clearing multiple wave camps, but it had 2 centaurs or 3 centaurs, so it had a lot of magic resistance. And in the meantime, TA was able to just whack on his mid tower for quite a long time. And after he jungled that, He even walked to the shrine to heal back up before going back to the mid lane. So just by doing that very, very small mistake, seemingly, he lost half of his tower HP, and this was 6 minutes in the game at the very start. And this has big implications because at some point later, TA shifts to the Ancients, Rubik goes to the mid lane to get his free experience, and there always has to be somebody in the mid lane from Execration side because otherwise your tower is going to die very fast. And obviously there was the other big stuff that happened during the game, which was the missed hook shots, the lassos that came before the global silence. It was all these little things that added up that gave Secret just a commanding lead throughout the entire game.
And I mean, I said it before, I'll say it again, the way that they capitalized on every single win. I mean, after every big team fight, it seemed like a tower or two fell at the bare minimum. So I'm really excited to see the matchup against Secret, or excuse me, against Team Liquid tomorrow.
It's a showdown of the EU teams.
Yeah, man.
It should be pretty hype.
Now, our next match is one that, again, is in lower, is a best-of-1 elimination match between Cloud9 and Team Empire. And, of course, Cloud9 has had a lot of roster changes in recent times, so we got the chance to catch up with Owie 2000. Tell us a little bit about it, Casey.